Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, a little off-season buy and sell from your two baseball and financial life experts. Let's talk ball. Bitcoin. Silver.
Knuckleballs. That's the new thing.
Steve Sparks. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Just because baseball's over doesn't mean you can't go and see something. And you're going to do that with SeatGeek, the official marketplace of the MLB. And they just got tickets to everything. Hoop season is rolling. Football's rolling. The puck. College sports. And concerts and stuff. SeatGeek, if there's a seat there, SeatGeek has it. And with code TALKIN10, you save 10% off any tickets at SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. It's kind of win-win. I don't know if that's the phrase. Take out your SeatGeek app, code TALKIN10 whenever you want to use it. Save 10%. No brainer. Speaking of, Trevor Plouffe.
Whoa, no brainer.
What's that? How you doing?
That could go either way, actually.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. Before the show, we were talking. I was just at the sports fields all weekend long. That's what my life has become, which is fine. I love it. Coaching youth baseball is a trip. Let me tell you that. I'm sure some dads are out there listening and they understand exactly what I'm talking about. Last week or like 2 weekends ago, I almost got in a fight with some of the coaches, which I have told myself I just can't ever do. But this guy was signaling. He was telling his players what pitches were coming because he was looking at our 9-year-old try to grip a changeup. And I wanted to fight him. Okay. And then this time I thought it was a comedy sketch on the other side of the field. I really did. It was two coaches, and they were just saying the most outlandish stuff to their kids who were just they just weren't a good team. Sometimes you run into that.
Give me an example. Give me an example of what they were saying.
Oh man. You kind of put me on the spot there. It was just loud and boisterous, and he goes, "We'll be out here all day. We'll be out here all day. I'm not taking you out. Baseball is like life. It's not easy." And I'm like, these kids are 9 years old. And it kept going like that. And again, I thought he was being funny at first. And I was kind of laughing.
Right.
But a couple of times he looked over at me and he wasn't happy that I was laughing. But, such is life on the 9-year-old baseball fields.
My God.
It was crazy.
God, you're patrolling
we won 23-4, and it was the worst game of the season.
Damn.
That was horrible.
Teddy got a couple knocks at least in those 23 runs.
He was hit too many ground balls. He was so pissed.
That's because he's in the analytics, man. You need that launch angle, bro.
That's what I told him. I said, just why don't you hit the ball on the ball then? He said, why don't you tell me that before the game? I was like, because you don't listen. You don't want to hear it, bro. So that's my weekend.
Speaking of not listening.
What was yours, Bob?
We're good, man. We're rolling into the off season. It's kind of that. It's that weird little baseball time, if we're being honest, where the offseason's waiting to kick. I think we're getting some final non-tender stuff later this week that'll dictate, some teams' true offseason plans that maybe platoon outfielder on your team that might be making $4 million this year. Are they going to bring him back, or are they going to use that money elsewhere? So, team to team, as those decisions get made, that has a impact on every fan base. Otherwise, I think baseball and everyone in life's kind of doing this, let's get to Thanksgiving. Let's do the damn thing. Let's cook the bird. Let's do the family time. And then we could start signing the big boy free agents too. You know what I'm saying? Winter meetings. I think they're in Dallas this year. My Dallas. Okay. So we'll see if that's hot in the streets, or that's what I always. Is it going to get started before? Is it going to get started during winter meetings? Is it going to get started after? And I don't know. It feels like it changes every year.
That will be my pitch to a potential free agent. I'd be like, hey, don't you want to sit around the table eating your bird with a bag full of cash?
Right.
Don't you want this Christmas to be special? I'll drop you a present under the tree with $60 million in it. How does that sound? I'd be using the holidays to my advantage. Not, hey, let's wait till after the holidays. That's for the suckers, bro.
Right. Right. I don't. Were you the agent there? Were you the owner? Were you the player? I don't know.
I'm just getting money out.
I think you were the owner.
Whatever you want.
Sign now. It's the holidays.
It's like the Harris campaign. You just whatever you want.
We're gonna wrap up with politics per usual. Trev, let's get into Dalton and BBD got together to do a little off-season buy or sell. You and I. We're men deep in the stock market. Listeners of this show know I own one silver stock that I watch incrementally gain value throughout the years, and it makes you laugh. That's that's honestly why I own it.
Because sometimes I can't tell if you're serious.
I own one silver stock. I bought it.
That's the only stock that you own, portfolio.
It's in one of those apps that we promoted. I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this for the people, I'm going to use it. So in that app, I own one stock.
We got to get you hooked up, Bob. We got to get you going with that compound interest.
So I'm more so playing the lane of baseball, buy and sell. And that's the game we're going to play. And Trev, I kind of want to go back and forth with you because there's obviously some of the big questions here that we will hit along the way and kind of go back and forth on this sheet, the ones that stick out or stand out. And I'll take the honors and I'll go first because this one, it's kind of what we were just talking about. And this combines two of the big ones in very different ways. Would you buy or sell the fact that Juan Soto and Roki Sasaki will hold up the hitting and pitching free agent markets?
I'm selling that. I'm selling that because I just think that, well, specifically for Juan Soto, I'm definitely selling that because I think there's only a few teams that are truly in on Juan Soto, especially with the figure that we got put out there by Carlos Baerga, who, nice hitter, but better informant. $660 million is what's being thrown out there by him that the Mets have offered Juan Soto. So I just only think 3 or 4 teams are truly in on Juan Soto at that number. So I don't think it'll hold up the rest of the hitting market as teams are going to say, okay, obviously we're out on that. Let's go make our splash. So I'll sell Juan Soto and I'll also sell Roki Sasaki because that's not a big money figure. He's coming over and, you have to convince him to come to your team, but that's not holding up your budget. So actually, yeah, I'm selling both of those, Jakey boy.
Trev, that's kind of where I started there. We're in lockstep, man. I think this one's a no-brainer. Yeah, sell. That's what I'm always saying. With this crypto stuff going on. But yeah, for everything you listed, man. I mean, Sasaki shouldn't change a team's plans at all. Like, if this guy chooses you, awesome. You get a free player, essentially, who might be an ace that, I don't know, it might affect other guys on your rotation or like other trades you might make if you have an extra stud starting pitcher for the league minimum. But that's not going to hold up anything you do. And I think same with Soto for everything you said. So, okay, I want to get the layup in. I want to get on the board. And we got it.
What's the Roki Sasaki latest news? There's all sorts of stuff with him. Dallas Keuchel came out and said he's going to the Dodgers for sure. Then there's other reports that he wants to play in a small market. He might be nursing an injury. It is very intriguing, because we really just don't have a ton of news on that end. But he will be. I guess possibly one of the most impactful free agent pitchers. We don't necessarily know if he is nursing an injury. That wouldn't be great for the team that signs him.
It's pure guessing, right? Like
how much can you get? I'm assuming, you can go get medicals, right? Is there
probably up to the player? I don't know, right? He's coming over from a different league.
That's very interesting. Okay.
The league and the agent. So yeah, there's some medical stuff over the weekend that people are wondering if he's hurt. And then the other thing, and I guess I find entertainment in it. Like, we're just guessing. They're like, oh, he idolizes Yu Darvish. And it's like, okay, it could be as simple as like, wait, I get to play with Yu Darvish and live in San Diego? That sounds
pretty good.
Do you want to chase rings and live in LA, like one of the premier cities in the world? And you got some.
Who has better Mexican food?
You got some.
We'll never know.
You got some friendly. Got some friendly teammates on there that you already know and are familiar with. There's Cubs rumors because they're like, I don't know, Shota's there. There's like Mets and New Yankees rumors just because, I don't know, it's New York and Senga's on the Mets. So, like,
Minnesota Twins.
We're guessing at
throw
this.
them in the freaking ring.
No, there haven't been a ton of Twins
Beautiful in the
rumors,
summer.
But it's
beautiful. A lot of lakes.
Maybe he loves lakes.
Oh, if he's a fisher.
He's a lake kid.
Fisherman.
It's funny. It turns into like fake high school recruiting stories. Like, he loves St. John's because Ron Artest went there. So now, we're just making stuff up and guessing. So, interested to see the next updates with that. And they're probably not coming for a while because he doesn't have to make his decision till
For
mid-Jan?
the team posting him, it's advantageous for them and all the teams that want him, I guess, to wait till January for like the new league year, essentially.
Right.
When like bonus pools reset and they can get the most money. I don't know.
Are you holding a pine cone?
I am. We have some
a cone.
autumnal decorations on our desk. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, subscribe, comment. We appreciate it. I guess. No, these stay. It's not even Thanksgiving. I'm all in my head, bro.
December, we can
it's
start
weird.
thinking about it.
October
Have you put up
shook me
Christmas
up.
lights yet? I'm not sure. My neighborhood is just everyone's got their lights up already.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because we're by
I don't know how I feel. I still have pumpkins on my doorstep, bro.
I see the decorations around New York City, and you're like, oh, this is nice. Like we're trying to do something nice in the city, but yeah, in the apartment, it's still tricky. I gotta get past Thanksgiving. Trev,
I'm gonna stay in that area, and I feel like I kind of want to put you on the spot here, and I'm curious to see where your head's at because this is obviously something that's near and dear to you and to Beavers. Buy or sell Juan Soto leaving the state of New York this offseason?
I'm going to answer it right after this Blitzball Battle 5 promo. You got to stay tuned.
Blitzball Battle 5, a pair of winless teams going at it, trying to avoid playing in that loser's bracket, if you will. Team Baggage has never beaten Del Caribe. How are they going to get it done later today?
Well, I think they gained a lot of confidence in their last matchup despite the loss. One thing you can take with absolute certainty is somebody is leaving with a win from this one.
So Baggage hit the ball exceptionally well. They came up on the short end of the stick in their first game of the season. Del Caribe did not get a single hit against Forgotten Rotten.
Different matchup here today.
If we go back to every single tournament played in the warehouse, I think I've taken Team Baggage at every game they've played. They do not want that skunk patch.
I don't think I've got one right so far, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Del Caribe.
Why not?
Just to help you out, Kels, so that
We're
way
here.
everybody's happy.
I got Team Baggage. Stupidly, I picked them to win the entire tournament. I don't know what it is. I think I'm a moron. We will see later today. We continue Blitzball Battle 5.
Hey, make sure you guys go check out the Blitzball Battle on our Warehouse Games channel. It's honestly electric. It's a great product. Juan Soto staying in New York. I'm buying. I was asked this weekend by one of my buddies who's more of an NBA cat, but he was checking in on the wide world of baseball, and he was like, "What's going on with Soto, or where's your confidence at with Soto?" For the Yankees, for the Yankees alone, I'm at 80%. Just because I know you've talked about it a lot, but he changed the whole team dynamic. Obviously, I was gonna say there was other changes to the team, but those changes didn't work out so hot. Like, sure, Rodon was a lot better this year. That needs to be listed. But I mean, Cy Cole, going from the Cy Young, he missed half the year and wasn't that guy. Luis Heel up for the Rookie of the Year. That we'll find out in we'll find out in a little bit. But like Verdugo was supposed to be like a game-changing player for the Yankees. He was not. Sure, Austin Wells was solid. One of the guys competing with Heel and Colton Cowser for Rookie of the Year. But like the change was Juan Soto, and you went from a team that missed the playoffs, a franchise that hadn't done that in 25 years or whatever it was. Or no, they haven't been under 500 in that long. Excuse me. They should have been. To a World Series contender and the best team in the AL throughout the whole year. So you have to bring Juan Soto back. If you do, the fact he's 25, you basically have created a young core again. Like we went from the Yankees without Juan Soto, like, oh shoot, like Judge and Cole are gonna get old. Like people saw Stanton running this postseason. For those that haven't been following the Yankees, like Father Time he's dealing with that. That like between Soto and Heel and Wells and like again, I'll daydream about Sasaki. If they somehow add him, you've now put together a whole young nucleus that you're built for a while. But dude, Soto and Judge, that's enough offensively to compete. That on the other side of it, like, okay, so outside of that 80% for me, you know, the Mets of the remaining 20% in my head, I know the percentages trip you up sometimes. You know, the Mets have to be at least half of that, right? Like they're trying to change their whole narrative. Uncle Stevie and them are waiting for their big move, that this guy would be the perfect one for them.
Okay,
don't do the numbers. I saw your brain thinking about the numbers for a second.
No, I mean I'm gonna do the numbers.
Oh,
I don't think the Yankees can match. If that number is correct, $660 million, and it doesn't include deferred money, I don't think the Yankees match that. I just don't think they do. They haven't done stuff like that at all lately, right? That's all I hear.
I mean, nobody's done that.
The boss isn't
contract.
here anymore. The kids don't spend like that. $660 million is a ton of money. Over 14 years, it's $47 million and change. I mean, don't quote me on those numbers, but I don't think that the Yankees can match that. So if he stays in New York, I think he's going to end up a Met. Now, I do think there is a chance. So I'm
genuinely, I'm genuine, because we don't do clickbaity stuff, but the topic of Soto, especially New York, becomes that. If that rumor's true, like let's say that rumor's true, the Baerga rumor.
I think it's ball game if that rumor's true.
Okay, so
I do. I don't think there's any other team that's matching $660 million, dude. They gave Shohei $700, but they deferred 98% of it. Like, maybe that's the play here. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that is, Jake, because I think that would be insane. $660 million straight up guaranteed right away, you know, or at least over the span of the contract. I don't think anybody's matching that. You know, I you hear that the Red Sox had a great meeting with him and he loves that, but the Blue Jays really want to make a splash. $660 million is not going to get matched by any other team. And that's the Steve Cohen effect. That is a guy that just has way more money than anybody putting it on the table. Like that's it, dude. So I'm not. What was the question? What was it? Will he stay?
Buy or sell him staying in New York. So
Leaving.
in theory, you'd be
leaving. I think I'm selling, and I think if that number, I'm going by Carlos Baerga here, people.
A little
if that's true, I think he stays in New York and it's with the Mets.
Yeah, I guess again, and you know, beat reporter Carlos Baerga, we respect his hustle. Yeah, it's what is that, and B, like, you know, Shohei doesn't get close to $700 million without the deferrals. Like, people have kind of forgotten that.
Yeah.
That, you know, Juan Soto, that wouldn't be straight up. That's not.
There's got to
real.
be deferrals, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but it is over.
But that's
Shohei got it over 10 years. This is over 14 years, so there's a little bit of a difference there.
Right. I just think the only thing I'd counter, whether it's the Yankees or like the Dodgers actually get involved in this, or another the John Heyman mystery team, like you saying that we haven't seen teams do this contract. We haven't seen any teams do this contract. Like, this would be the biggest contract ever. So maybe
we also haven't seen a free agent at 25 like him, with the accolades. Let's just everyone close their eyes, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna do a little experiment here. Close your eyes.
You're driving.
Don't. If you're driving, don't
open
close
your eyes back up if you're driving.
Open your eyes back up and pay attention to the road, please. You're a kid, and all of a sudden you learn that you can just hit the baseball better than anybody. You work hard, but it's also natural, God-given talent.
Right.
You work your way up to the major leagues, and you have a successful start to your career. You win a World Series. You become one of the most feared hitters in all of baseball. Okay. And then all of a sudden, you're 25, 26 years old, You get to play pretty much wherever you want. You get to go to city and decide, I want to play here, I want to play there, and what are you going to give me? You're going to give me an excess of $500 million to play on your team. So you're like a generational hitter. You're going to have a half a billy, and you get to demand what team you go to. How does that make you feel? Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Can you imagine being Juan Soto this offseason, dude?
No, man, and that was
freaking crazy. I feel like we just glance over the fact that this guy is literally living the dream. He is. Is there anybody in the world right now that's like having more fun than Juan Soto? There's probably a few, but oh my gosh.
And
what's he doing on a daily basis? You wake up and what? You're like, fuck, this is
Trev, that's the thing. I think he's a baseball guy. Like that's you
think he's in the cage right now?
Maybe. Like that,
probably.
It doesn't seem like a guy that has people are like, hey, we need you showing up to work early. Like all the reports is he's a rat. And like, dude, the joke we made a little bit around the office, I don't know if we've discussed this here, when the Yankees originally traded for Juan Soto, but we were like, who is this guy? Why are there the joke we kept making is, why is there no Juan Soto like GQ article? Like this is who Juan Soto is. Like if you look on the internet, there's not a ton of like, this is Juan Soto. The biggest piece of information we have, well, all of the baseball stuff, and he's incredible. But do you remember when there's the picture? I think he was playing video games in his apartment, and he just had his silver slugger just like leaning on his TV stand. Like he basically had a 24-year-old living room setup with his gaming TV, his video games, and his bat is just like, oh yeah, I won this. I forgot about that. So like, I don't know. I think he's just about ball, and everything he shows you makes you believe that too. So, hey, maybe 500 mil will change a man. It hasn't affected me, but
Dude, there's nothing better than that. Being 24 and not caring about furniture. Wait till you're an adult and you have to like care about furniture. It's the worst, people. Just enjoy that moment where you have like your TV on a crate or something like that. Like,
so have you gotten
beautiful thing?
Because isn't there an area where like you shouldn't get good furniture because if you have little kids, they're just gonna wreck it?
Yeah, that's all furniture in your house.
Right.
Wrecked, yeah.
I don't know. Your kids are getting older. Like I could see you and Liv being like, hey, let's get this white couch that we dreamed of getting because the kids are.
No.
We're not there yet? Okay.
You have to get performance fabric, bro. You'll learn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Trev, I've got a buy or sell that I think you're gonna like. Enough Yankee stuff. Enough New York. I think this one's fun. Buy or sell Willy Adames or Alex Bregman changing positions entering the 2025 season. So, there's rumors about Adames maybe pushing over to third. Bregman said he's willing to play second for the right price tag.
Entering 2025, I'm selling that.
Okay.
I don't think that these guys do change positions. Now, is it good of them to say, hey, yeah, I'm versatile, I'll change positions? And could they do it? Yes, I think I'd buy that. But entering 2025, I think they end up Willy Adames at short, Alex Bregman at third base. And then they could move. Like Willy could move to third base as he gets older. Bregman could move to second base if it fits the team a little bit better. But entering 2025, I'll say both of these guys still have a lot to offer at the positions that they are in. I mean, the caveat obviously would be if they went somewhere where there's an established position player already there and they just wanted to supplement offensively with these guys and move them. That's a possibility, but I'm selling that. I think they're both going to be at their respective positions entering the year.
Yeah, it doesn't add up to me. Like Bregman plays Gold Glove third base. Like that's part of the value. I'm sure he would play a great second base. Like it seems like his.
I think is he more valuable at second base if he continues his offense, and I think he is, right?
I don't know.
More speaking,
it depends, right? Would he be that level? Would he be a Gold Glove second baseman?
He looks like a second baseman,
right? Like kind of if you didn't know, and he was a short, like a lot of these guys, he was a shortstop that you'd like to think with a little bit of footwork and some training, he could be an elite second baseman. But he's already like an elite third baseman. So I guess, again, if there's a team that wants Alex Bregman on your team, that they can do that, and he's open to it. So we'll see. And then Willy Adames, for me, that one makes less sense. Like, Bregman, I get it. If you're a team making your offseason plan and you're saying, hey, we want a dog, like you and me laughed a couple episodes ago because I think we both realized, like, Bregman's going to play till he's like 41. Like, he's going to be the next Justin Turner. Like, you can just kind of feel it in the way he plays ball.
He's a rat.
Yes, that we were both like, yeah, like whatever light bulb's going off right now. Like, hey, if you want to add the rat, baseball rat who wants to win again, get another World Series, like that's going to be his goal when he plays. Like, he wants to win the World Series. If you want to add that to your locker room or clubhouse and third base is clogged, okay. I see him being more likely than Willy, because part of Willy's like appeal and contract is that he is a shortstop. I know he took a step back, but Willy Adames, the second or third baseman, I feel like his value would tick down a bit.
He's
like,
too big to play second base. That's a big boy.
Yeah, the rumors with him are third base, so I don't know. It's some of the big boy teams that are rumored to get him that I don't know. It feels like if you're going to give Willy the contract, you should want him at short.
I'm going to give Bregman a big compliment here.
Here we go.
I think there's other guys that have prettier swings in the big leagues, but if I was to pick a swing for my son to have, I'd pick Alex Bregman's. Okay. I think it's very repeatable. It's very direct. There's not a lot of excess movement, and I think that a lot of people could do that swing. I think it's one of the most universally good swings in baseball. Not everyone can do like feet close together, standing way high, super like easy going swing. Not everyone can do spread out, crouch down swing. Like Bregman is kind of like right smack in the middle, hands here, direct to the ball. He does like the flashlight knob thing that he always talks about. So I like his swing.
Yeah, I like the swing too. You gotta be very strong and swing fast to get power out of that swing, and obviously he's got that part figured out, which I'm still working on. Where do you want to go, T-Pain?
This one is time sensitive, so this is why I want to ask it. We have a little bit of information on the subject, I believe, but buy or sell, multiple players will accept the qualifying offer. It's at $21.1 million. Guys like Juan, Willy Adames, Bregman, Teoscar, Santander, Pete Alonso, Corbin Burns, Max Fried will not sign the qualifying offer. But, of the remaining guys. So let's name the guys that there's a possibility, and I'm curious to think if there's going to be more than one. So you're buying or selling more than one. So Christian Walker, Nick Martinez, Severino, Minaya, and Pivetta. Of those five guys, more than one accept the qualifying offer?
This is a good one, Trev, and time sensitive. I like it.
Tomorrow is the date.
Speaking of sensitive, how about paying your rent? Everyone out there paying rent knows the feeling. It can be tough. That first of the month rolls around and you're like, how much is going to be leaving the bank account? Well, it can feel better with Built and getting Built rewards. There's no cost to join Built. As a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, even the ones you haven't heard of yet. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world that you can redeem your Built points towards. So start earning points on your rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt, BILT.com/talkin. That's joinbuilt.com/talkin. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. There's a link in the description. If you're paying rent, start earning some points on it. That's an easy decision. The qualifying offers, not so much, Trev, because I got into it with Joe's McFly at the warehouse last week because he's friends with Luis Severino. And I think Sevy should take it. Joe's, and he doesn't have inside info, But he was like, I don't think Sevy will. Like, I think, if Sevy hits the open market, even with the qualifying offer attached, if he could get that 3-year deal, that's kind of that life money that you've talked about. Like, for Sevy, that's it. The interesting part is if Sevy could come back, take the qualifying offer for a year and pitch the same or tick up a little bit, then he could get that same bag. So, he's an interesting one for me because his WAR number isn't off the chart. Pivetta is another interesting one, and Nick Martinez. I think those are the 3 big ones that are they going to accept the qualifying offer? And I would say that 2 out of 3 would. Like, everyone thinks Nick Martinez is going to. His stats were kind of the best out of those 3 mentioned, but Nick Martinez doesn't have that kind of name recognition as the other 2 because we've seen them in bigger places. But yeah, I think 2 of those 3 guys accept it.
So I was about to agree with you until you said, yeah, I'm selling it. The reports are Nick Martinez is likely to accept it, and Louis and Nick Pivetta are unlikely to accept the qualifying offer. And I think you made a lot of good points.
Wow.
A lot of times, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I never really say that about you.
Yeah.
A lot of times we think in how do you maximize your money? How do you maximize what you're going to get? That's how a lot of fans think. That's how we talk a lot on this show about contracts. But here's the thing. Sometimes you're just like sick of betting on yourself, man, and you just want to take the sure thing. And I think that's what you're talking about with Sevy and Pivetta. Hey, man, like we've had up and down careers. Sevy's dealt with injuries. Pavetta's had times where he looks great on the mound. Other times he looks not so great on the mound. And he's coming to free agency. And I think there are times where you're just like, man, let me just go get some stability here. And I don't have to worry about being awesome again in 2025 because it's very hard. The big leagues is very, very hard. So yeah, if my agent is telling me, it sounds like Pavetta's agent's telling him, you can get a 3-year deal somewhere. And it's not going to be for 21 a year. Like it's probably going to be for 17 or 18 a year, but you're going to get that 3 times. And Pivetta saying, all I need is that, man. I don't need anything else. Like I'm set for life. Then let me do that. So I'm selling it. I think, the reports are that Nick Martinez is, and those other 2 guys aren't. So I'm going to trust those. And like you said, this is their time, decent platform years, come off this, get your 3-year deal, get it locked in, and then just like go enjoy playing ball. I never had that, Jake. To bring it back to me like I always
Thank
do.
You.
I know everyone wants to hear about me. I never had that, man. I never had the chance to just chill out and like play the game of baseball. Every year was like, man, I better stay healthy. I better perform or else, my paycheck's going to get drastically cut or I'm going to get cut. Like when you have a long-term deal, man, the pressure washes off of you, dude. Like now it's just, let's go work on baseball, focus on baseball. All the other stuff is taken care of. So I think that's where they'll be at. I'm selling it. Nick Martinez will be the only one, which is kind of crazy because a week ago I talked about this maybe on Baseball Today, and I thought all 3 of those guys should take it. But maybe I have talked myself out of that.
Yeah, it's Trev. Maybe one day we're going to have to get like a baseball mental coach on here because there's something fascinating about that. Because even the ripple effect of like, hey, if the Twins said, hey, Trev, we want to even buy out your next ARB year. We're going to give you 2 for $15 and like, let's seal this. Like, hey, the next time you run into a slump, it might even be easier to be like, you know what? Let me mess around with my stance a little bit. Like, hey, I'm going to be here next year. Like, let me try some things and maybe something clicks and you go nuts. Where the other side of that argument is like, some of the guys who are like, I got that dog in me. I need to feel the pressure. It kept me working hard every day. Baseball kind of doesn't work like that, but it does.
Yeah, it's person dependent. I asked Terry Ryan when I was there, can you please buy out my next year of arbitration? Let's go 2 years here. We settled on a figure for my second to last year there, and he's like, no, we like the way things are going. I'm like, I don't.
That's the problem, Terry.
Love you, Terry. Terry's still one of my very good friends.
I'll be interested to see, because if they, whichever one of those guys do turn it down, and Martinez accepted it. I think that might even be official. So it would come down to Sevy and Pivetta. I mean, those two guys' agents, that's something to track as we go, because you need, if you're going to turn this down, you need that third year. You need that third year.
Let me put this out there for the people. Comment below if your job was, I mean, most jobs are performance based, but if your job was performance based, would you take the 3 years and chill, or try to make more money every single year? If your job was hard to perform at,
right?
I want to know what people, like the psyche of people, are thinking out there, man.
Yeah, I tried to put myself in Severino's shoes, and I was kind of like, okay, my arm talent is there. I had a good year, but not a special year. But again, innings and like velo wise, and it's like, if I run that back, do I get the same contract? But you're a year older, but there's no qualifying offer. It really is. There's some real mental gymnastics that go on with it that, I don't know. I guess you also, at a certain point, you just have to take it as like a good decision either way. If you take that 21.1, that's pretty goddamn cool. If you don't, and you end up with even like you get hurt, or you don't get hurt, but you only get a 2-year offer for $18 million a year. Hey, that's still pretty damn cool too. Like a lot of these guys might have dreamt of $100 million at some point, and hey, maybe that's coming, but this is still pretty good. It's a pretty good option. Wow, Trev. Great buy or sell pick by you.
Okay.
That one wasn't.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do I want to go? See our guy Jack Flaherty on here. You know what? These two teams intrigue me every year.
Oh, I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going.
Buy or sell, the Giants and Blue Jays making splashes in the free agent market this year. Now, the Giants kind of became, I don't say a punching bag, but people were getting their jokes off about them because it seemed like they were the bridesmaid, never the bride for a little bit. And then people kind of forgot at the end of last free agency. They started to cook. It was Jung-Hoo Lee. It was Matty Chapman. It was Snell. Like they really went for a little bit. And now they have some ripple effects of Matty Chapman extended, that they're trying to build something. The Blue Jays, man, you could talk me any direction on that, because in theory, this is the last year of Vladdy and Bo, and if you're going to keep them and try to re-sign them like they say, you need to add, because you just had a tough year. So I'm very interested in what you have to say.
So I'm buying. These teams are, I mean, the Blue Jays were in the hunt for Shohei Ohtani last year. I mean, you're putting the chips on the table for Shohei Ohtani, then you are obviously big players in the free agency market, and they want to be. I know that's kind of the question is, are they going to land somebody? I think the Giants 100% will. I think that, I'm trying to think who's like a really good fit. Like Adames really fits there. He really fits there. And I think Buster Posey, although, the reports are they have to scale back a little bit of their spending, there's still room there to go out and sign, one or two of these free agents. So I think he's coming in, running the show there. He's going to want to make a splash. And I think they do. I think it's still a desirable place to play. They're in such a strange, I'm talking specifically about the Giants here. They're in such a strange spot because of the division, where it's like the Padres are going to be really good. The Dodgers are going to be really good. Arizona, like, we'll see what they are. Like, they can be very good. I mean, they were just in the World Series last year, 2 years ago, however you want to phrase that. So where do they stand in the pecking order in that division? Probably third at best, I would say. So you have to go make these moves, and they've shown the willingness, and they've wanted to do it. I think they end up landing a few guys this offseason. The Blue Jays are maybe even more interesting to me, because if you talk to people around baseball, all they say is they have almost more money than anybody because of who owns the team. So, will they spend like that? We will see. They do have decisions to make, like you mentioned, about Bo Bichette, about Vlad Guerrero Jr. I'll go just based on the Giants definitely signing a few of them. I'm buying on this one.
Yeah, I mean the Giants are going to be in the mix. I mean they have to be. Like Jung-Hoo Lee, they've
been in the mix. They've been signing free agents that we clown on them because they missed out on Aaron Judge. That's like why we've been clowning on them. But they've signed
Correa was the other one.
Sure, but they had him, but they gave him away.
Right.
They signed him. Dude.
They won, and then they said no, thank you.
And look, he's dealt with issues with the Twins, so like there was some stuff there that wasn't just a complete F up by them. Like they saw something they didn't want. So like they've been in the free agent market. They've been doing this. So I 100% Chapman and Snell last year. I expect them to fully be in the mix here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants have a nice free agency because they need to add one or two starting pitchers, and they can kind of value it. Like at the top of their rotation, Logan Webb is there, and he is Logan Webb, and you can pencil him in for 200 innings and like fourth in the Cy Young. That's pretty nice. They traded for Robbie Ray in his contract. Jordan Hicks last year, Kyle Harrison hopefully taking a jump for them. So you add one pitcher to that rotation, and there's serious potential there. And with the lineup, I mean, again, it's this weird Giants thing where it's a lot of like, not a lot of love. It's like, yeah, I like Patrick Bailey. I like Elliot Ramos came onto the scene. We love Matt Chapman, and he got the bag. I think I like Jung-Hoo Lee, that they need some offensive reinforcements, that if they can make one or two impact signings there, you bring in another starting pitcher, I think we're going to like it for the Giants. It's just a matter that division is gnarly.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays, no clue, dude. Lock up Vlad? Like, if he likes being up there, but then if you're trying to lock up Vlad, do you have to lock up someone this offseason to show that you're going to add around him? I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know either. They're also in a curious situation in their division. That's always a very tough division. We joke about the Orioles kind of like taking a step forward, taking a step back, but they're going to be a very good baseball team. The Yankees are going to go out there and they're going to, try to land Juan Soto, and they were just in the World Series. They're going to be a good baseball team. Never know what the Rays are doing. That's a whole separate. Honestly, we should have a Tampa Bay Rays episode and just talk about everything that's going on there. That's going to be
just like if the Rays brought us in as like a special advisory firm for like, hey guys, we need some help. Stadium, team,
dude. We can't get into that right now because there is so much going on. But they're in Giants and Rays and Jays are in very similar situations where like they have to do something to get back in the mix in their own division, not in the game of baseball. Like a lot of teams we talk about that are like going to be big players in free agency, they're trying to like get better in the playoffs. Like, hey, how do we get over that hurdle and get to the World Series? For the Jays, it's like, how do we get into second place in our division and steal a wild card? Like, so they need to make moves. And I assume that they will. Like they've missed out on some people, but will Max Fried go there? Like they need some bats. They kind of went to that whole like, defensive alignment thing, but they need some bats there to surround their hitters with. And the way to get bats to come and play in Toronto, which is obviously, I think it's one of the coolest cities that in all of Major League Baseball, man. Like the stadium is awesome. The city's awesome. It's fun to play in the American League East. You just got to pay a little bit more. That's that Canadian tax. It's just basically what it is, and I think they're going to be willing to do it. I'm totally buying this question.
For me, it's going to be very interesting. They have money to spend. They're active, and they can go a lot of directions. They could add another starting pitcher or two to that rotation. They could add a couple hitters to the lineup. It's just going to be interesting to see. Are they going to be crafty? Like, are they going to be these? Are we going to be doing like 2-year signings for 15 mil, and it's like, oh yeah, they're bolstering that? Or are we going to see something pop up that's Blue Jays 7 years, $150 million? Whoa, they're in the mix. I don't know. I'm interested to see. How about Bowden Francis listed as their 3 starter after he went nuts to finish the year? You forget.
Like that?
You know, what does he look like next year? Is he a 1? Is he a 5? What a silly sport, Trev.
What a silly sport.
Why don't you pick out, we'll do 1 or 2 more. Whichever one you pick out, I'm going to pick out a Corona Extra. Because, man, it's for the fan that never loses. Whether we're talking free agency, whether we're talking postseason, I forget how those final games of the baseball year went. Corona is for the fan who never loses, whether it's a big home run or some old-fashioned small ball. Grab a ballpark snack with a Corona on the way. It's the perfect beer for baseball watching, and this is talking baseball, so that makes sense. So cheers to everyone who loves the game beyond the scoreboard. Corona for the fan who's never loses. Get yours at ordercorona.com. 21 plus. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
I got one that I don't even know the answer to, so I'm kind of like putting this on you. I feel like you got a finger on the pulse of this team.
Big time.
You fingers, man. That's what you do.
Okay.
Buy or sell the Cubs. No,
maybe the team I have the least pulse on, man.
Really? I want to let's work through this thing, because I'm with you too. I gave them a "What is you doing, baby?" on baseball today,
right?
Because I don't know what they're doing. I actually gave the entire NL Central "What is you doing, baby?"
Right.
And someone wrote an unprecedented 14, because I excluded the Brewers. I gave 4 teams a simultaneous "What is you doing, baby?" because I don't know what they're doing out there. The Cubs, buy or sell, the Cubs will be more active as sellers than buyers this offseason.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But we can workshop this. It's okay to say we don't have a huge pulse, because I don't know if there is a pulse. How about that?
So I guess I think I'm selling them being sellers, because I've seen some trade fodder out there, like, you know, would they trade Belly? Nico Horner is in that timeline of I think he's got 2 years left, so it's, you know, do they move him while he's got that kind of value? And I think they have a top second baseman prospect, Matt Shaw maybe. That, you know, I've seen some packages with them. Man, I think the Cubs front office, they have their meetings. Everyone goes to their respective individual office, and they just punch pillows for 15 minutes because they have no idea why this isn't working. Like, I look position by position for the Cubs, and I think they like it, man. I think they like...
This is their team. Yeah, they put this team together. Yes.
That, I guess if, you know, when the Cubs bring us in as every MLB team's front office advisors, I would add another dude in the rotation. Maybe give me a power righty to pair with Shota Imanaga and Steele. Like, if I'm the Cubs and I've got that top of the rotation and I say, okay, let's get serious. In a playoff set, you don't want to see that. In the regular season, you don't want to see that, because they like their lineup. Like, what position do you look at on their team and you're like, oh, they need to address that? They don't have one.
That's a discussion we've had about them. We're like, yes, this is the team they traded. They signed guys, and they have their talent there. It hasn't worked out. But yeah, I don't. The question was, are they buy or sell? They're going to be more sell. So I'm selling the seller.
We're selling the sell.
I'm selling that they're selling. I do think they have to add. You can't be the Chicago Cubs, put this team together, it not work for a year, and then all of a sudden get rid of everyone. So yeah, you got to add. So you got to go get rotation help. I love Shamanaya in Chicago. I love me some Shamanaya in Chicago. I think Jay Flair is a great fit there. I even think the guy Nick Pivetta that we talked about, my guy Full Pension Piv, is someone that they could double up on and get a couple pitchers over there. Like any team, they could use bullpen help as well. But you mentioned, like, the lineup is set. Could you get some depth pieces? Sure. They just got to supplement and then see what they got. They can't you can't sell right now. So I'm selling the sell. I want these teams to be good. That's why I gave this division they're so storied to me. You know, like the Cubs have been around forever. The Reds have been around. Aren't the Reds the oldest team in baseball? Like these are franchises that have real deal fan bases, and you got to give them something, man. Like so, they better be buyers. I will be so pissed at the Cubs
Trev,
if they don't buy.
let me paint a picture, and I'm deciding if I need.
Ooh, can I close my eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me paint a picture. And I'm deciding whether or not I want to preface this with telling our social team not to clip this. But let me paint a
My eyes
picture
are
for
closed.
you. It's opening day at Wrigley Field.
Cold.
It's chilly. But you know what, Trev? It's 48, but sunny. And
Beautiful.
the people are about it. This is Wrigley.
I'm having a Corona.
We're back. Corona in hand. There's the beer snake in the outfield. A couple of the fellas are tarps off because it's 48 and sunny.
Yeah. Not me.
The Cubs take the field, and who's on the bump but Corbin
Soto.
Burns?
Oh.
Trev, I kind of need the Cubs to up the ante, dude. Like, their lineup, sure, you can find better players at each position, but a lot of these are good ball players that I got Shota and I got Steele. You give me Corbin Burns. Like, it feels like the Cubs have been waiting for that, boom, we're back signing. That would be it for me. Like, I want them, like, I love our guy Jack. I love Nate Dogg Eovaldi. I love, Pivette. Sure, and any team could use all those guys. But, dude, if they got Corbin Burns, wouldn't you and I look at each other like, instead of doing this, hey, Milwaukee's just got everyone beat and we don't know what to do, if the Cubs brought in Corbin Burns, I think we'd look at each other like everything's raised up. Like, the hitters need to be better. The other pitchers need to be better. Like, the Cubs need to be back if you do something like that.
It's here's my thing with that. I agree with you. It's one of the divisions that's actually up for grabs. I think it might be the most up for grabs division. The Brewers, kind of ran away with it this year. But was that Brewers team that good? Like, they just kept surprising people. Maybe they were. Maybe I'm an idiot for thinking that they're losing Willy Adames. Like, there's a lot of things going on there. This division is up for grabs. You could say, like, the AL West is probably up for grabs. I would say that. I would say the AL Central's up for grabs.
Yeah.
Respect to the Guardians, respect to the Tigers and the Royals, but that division's up for grabs. The NL Central's up for grabs as well. So yeah, I'm all on that. Them going out and trying to lock up somebody. I honestly like what you're talking about. Bona fide ace coming in there. I might get two for the price of one though if I was them. I might go get me a Nick Pivetta and go get me a Sean Manaea, like two of those guys who's not going to cost as much as Corbin Burns. But if I saw Corbin Burns on there and you're trotting out Corbin and Shota, I don't hate it, man. I'm selling the sell. You're also selling the sell. We just convinced who owns the Cubs.
Oh, is it
Ricketts family?
Ricketts? I think Ricketts.
Fact check.
Tom Ricketts.
Hey guys,
Ricketts.
Don't let if you don't and you end up selling or not buying, because those are different. I'm gonna give you the biggest "what is he doing, baby." I might show up to Chicago, sit in the bleachers, roll out a big old sign, and everyone in left field is gonna be, "What is you doing, baby?" Ricketts. That'd be a sight, huh?
That would be a sight. I haven't done the Wrigley bleachers. I'd like to do that.
I've only been there once as a player. That's it.
Yeah, we went there. It got rained out. We were supposed to throw the opening pitch. Crazy. Never been.
I still owe Ian half a bottle of wine.
Yeah, you do, Trev.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that your question or was that me? That was you, right?
That was mine.
You're killing
I've been
it.
crushing it. I'm crushing
Great
it.
question.
I was a little worried about you. The percentages, no numbers involved in this, just good stuff, and that's all you got. Assing. Oh,
The Houston Astros Stadium is no longer called Minute Maid Park.
Oh,
Talkin?
I think so. I haven't gotten to watch the video yet.
that sounds, and I mean this in a nice way, foreign. Daikin. I love that. I believe Houston is a very international city. International business goes through Houston.
It
How
is
about
an
that?
international hub. A lot of oil and gas.
Love that.
Okay, I've got. Oh, I can't. Do
I'm actually looking up Daikin now because, like, look, that could mean something. Let's just look up what that is.
Okay, that brings in
Is
a
it
couple.
Daikin Comfort perfecting the air we share?
Are they an AC company? Because Houston's
Okay.
where air conditioning was created.
Japanese
seems like
multinational
that's what it is.
conglomerate headquartered in Osaka, world's largest air conditioning manufacturer.
I love it.
So that's, hey, if we're starting to get Japanese sponsorship,
Oh,
what does that mean?
oh,
That's where my head is going.
Yusei's back.
shit. Yeah, Kikuchi resigns.
Sasaki
No
and
other names,
Kikuchi?
please.
I mean, does he love
I
Kikuchi?
love it.
Is he another sleep?
Are they boys? Are
is
they
he another
running mates?
sleep freak?
Are they Eskimo bros?
Trev, I was gonna ask you the Scott Boras one, but I'm definitely not. Let's do a quick hitter. This is my favorite team, so let's do it quick. Buy or sell the Mariners trading one of their starting pitchers. Do you believe?
Gosh, that's a tough one. I want to buy that. I'm buying it.
I'm selling.
You're selling? I'm buying it because I don't think they're going to be active enough in free agency to go out and get a hitter, but they need bats. I mean, how long have we been talking about this? How long, dude? So, look, you are flush with starting pitching. You have to deal from areas of strengths to acquire to stop your weaknesses. Like, that's
okay.
just, hey, I don't know. I learned that somewhere, high school grad. You got to go do it. So there's rumors that, they talked about Luis Castillo, but then I believe that got like shut down by Dipoto. Like, he's like, no, we're actually not doing that. I think it will be smart of them. Like, look at the teams that were in the playoffs, dude. They didn't have a full five. They didn't. Like, none of the teams had a full five starting rotation. Like, you can get by in today's day and age without a full five starting rotation. And you got, I'm sure, with what you've been able to do there in development, I'm sure you got some guys coming up that could be just fine as your fifth starter. Go deal one of those guys, because guess what? You can get a pretty penny for them. You can get a bat. So I'm actually buying it. I think that they'll come to their senses and understand, hey, we might have to do this. Yeah, we love having all these pitchers here. We love having the depth, but we've lacked offense now, and that's been our Achilles heel. So I'm buying.
Yeah, I think they love what they have and they believe in it.
How can they love? How?
Well, because the pitching's awesome. Like
It doesn't. Okay, dude, that's great. Is that what we do here? Hey, your pitching is good. You win the World Series. No, that's like not, dude.
I know. I agree, but
you don't get a trophy for best starting pitching staff. You don't.
I think they've got Munoz and they believe they can just tap into guys in the bullpen.
Jake, here's their 2024 team rankings.
Oh boy.
Starting pitchers: ERA, WHIP, walks per 9, hits per 9, all one in baseball.
That's great.
Here's their hitting rankings: average 29th, OPS 22nd, runs 21st. Let me tell you, they probably struck out more than anybody else as well. So you can't. How can one be here,
right,
and then one be here, and then you're like, oh, that's going to be great for us. We're going to have you can't. We can't do that. I don't know if you guys know that. You just can't do that.
Yeah, I did see there was I think MLB Network was talking about how the Snakes and Seattle need to figure out a trade because Arizona was one of the best offensive teams last year. Seattle was the best pit. They
danced before.
I agree with you. I just don't believe in them. I think I think that front office looks at their 5 gemstones of a pitching staff and is like, we did this. We built this. This is how it'll work. And I think they're going to like dig their heels in. And I just don't know which one they sell. Like the Luis Castillo rumors, you know, there's some serious money in that you're probably going to get an interesting return or a return that you have to pay guys. So it's too many moving parts. I feel like they don't want to pick between their young pitchers and
pick one. Pick one, bro.
I'm worried they won't. And that's why I'm selling them.
And that's why I am out.
Look at that.
Shark Tank reference.
Your guy Herge, who was
my
on
friend Robert,
that flight to Toronto.
He's moving back soon. Yeah, he was.
He thought was Shohei. He was Shohei for a day.
He's a great guy. Love him.
Great guy.
Some Herge.
You got one more, Trev, or you want to wrap up with some, I don't know, the awards are happening tonight. I don't know. Not too much to say on them, but.
Well, that's kind of an interesting question. Buy or sell? What do you want to do, Trev? I don't know. I think I want to mention the awards a little bit. Is that what we got time for?
Yeah, we got time for it.
All right, let me buy or sell it for you, the awards, but go ahead and talk about DraftKings.
I will tell them about DraftKings because I've been getting in on the action every Sunday. It definitely adds something to your watching experience if you haven't messed around with it. And right now, if you go to DraftKings, all new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins when you use code Talkin. Also, if it's not available sports betting's not available in your state yet, you can still join in on the fun of DraftKings with their daily fantasy for a shot to win cash prizes. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code Talkin. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. That's promo code Talkin only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
So just briefly recapping what's going on here with the awards. I think the AL Rookie of the Year is really up in the air, and I don't think really anybody there weren't great seasons in the AL for Rookie of the Year. Colton Cowser had a fine season. Luis Gil had one really, really good month, and then kind of not so good every other month. Overall numbers ended up good. Austin Wells, he was all right, pretty good for a time. So that one to me, I don't really care that much about. No offense to those guys. I think Colton Cowser ends up getting it. So let's go to NL Rookie of the Year, Jake. Because I think the MVPs are locked up, and I think the Cy Youngs are locked up. So we don't have to really worry about those. I think the most intriguing race is the NL Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I think Shohei's going to win NL MVP. Aaron Judge is going to win AL MVP. Chris Sale's going to win NL Cy Young, and Scooble's going to win AL Cy Young. Yep. There you go, people. NL Rookie of the Year. Buy or sell? Paul Skeens wins NL Rookie of the Year.
Oh, I'm buying at this point. I mean, the fact that they threw him into the final 3 Cy Young votes, the fact that we've got Skeensgate going on for this rookie card or whatever. The Pirates are offering up their like tickets behind home plate for 30 years. And
they didn't say how high up, by the way. They just said behind home plate. So everyone needs to chill on this.
And then, another one of these companies came in and was like, hey, do not take the Pirates deal. Like, we're going to offer you
We'll sell
money.
it. Yeah, we'll sell it for you.
Dude, the Rookie of the Year is not necessarily best rookie. And, hey, Skeens might be the best rookie, but
is it not? Best rookie?
It's not, dude. It's Rookie of the Year, which that has some flexibility to it.
Okay.
Skeens is like the storyline. Who was it? Was it Andujar and Ohtani that was a big one in Yankee culture a few years back? That a lot of the numbers leaned Andujar, but Ohtani was the Rookie of the Year. And his career's panned out slightly better than Andujar, so I kind of like him next year. He can still hit, and so can Andujar. Man, I think Skeens has it locked. In AL, I have no clue how that's going to turn out.
I'm going to sell it. I think Jackson Merrill is going to shock the world, and I don't really believe that. the betting odds are on Paul Skeens. I want to give it to Jackson Merrill, and I usually shy away from team success with awards because you don't have any say, especially when you're a rookie. You have no say. But the difference is you're a rookie. Right. So this guy, I don't think it necessarily benefited him that he's on a good team. It did, but it also gets balanced by the fact that you're a rookie in a freaking playoff race, dude. It's scary.
Right.
Like, you don't know how to handle that. So when you're a rookie, I think that you have to take that into account. And this guy he was the MVP for the San Diego Padres. Asked to play a new position out of nowhere. Clutch hits galore. Like, I think that the fact that he was there the whole year means something. I know it was no fault of Skeens. That was a Pirates. What is you doing, baby? But if I'm voting, I'm giving my vote to Jackson Merrill. So just for my sake, I'll say I'm selling that, and I think that he overtakes Paul Skeens. I would like to see it happen.
I mean, it's crazy because we followed this one a lot closer throughout the year because Jackson Chourio towards the end, like, he was playing out of his mind that his WAR ended up in a similar spot. It felt like between Chourio and Merrill, the Jacksons, it felt like Merrill did it all year. That for whatever reason in his head or in our heads, it kind of feels like he gets the nod over Chourio.
Chourio had April wasn't great, I think.
Right.
And then after
he
that,
got better as he went, and he by the end he was going nuts. Skeens,
he was dominant. He was. I'm not saying he wasn't dominant, people. I know you're in the comments. You don't know. He was great. He was great.
When you look at how many innings do you think Skeens threw this year?
130.
133. Look at you know too much.
I know Paul Skeens.
No ball, bro.
I know he needs a stylist. I said that on Baseball Today.
He can go a couple more years figuring it out.
No. Just get one, man. Just get some help.
I don't know. I like where him and Livy are at. You know?
They're young, dude. They don't.
Right. But he's kind of got. Right now, he's got a little Pittsburgh going on, you know?
I think. Oh, okay. I don't want to get into this. I don't want to bag on my guy. I like Paul Skeens.
We like Paul Skeens. Hey, I think that's what we've got for today, King Trev. Wow, what a note to end on. We will be back Wednesday. We'll see. We're on Breaking News Watch. It doesn't feel like there's a real threat of it yet, but
well, you're talking about Thanksgiving and not doing deals.
You were talking about bringing the bag to Thanksgiving, which it's a sick flex.
It is sick.
Hey, let's eat up.
One of these teams should send like a fake turkey stuffed with money to who they want to sign. Like, don't you want to show up with a bird like this?
I'd have to check the CBA. I don't know the legalities on that. That feels like
CBA schmeBA, bro.
Okay.
This is the dark arts.
It's a signing bonus.
The dark arts, huh?
Do whatever you want in this country.
No boo.